Hey guys, it's Cody and welcome back to a new Draw for Fun video. Now this video is Meta Knight from the Kirby series. If you guys want to know what this picture is supposed to be, kind of like Meta Knight with a broken mask, because I never seen any Meta Knight character drawings that actually with him with a broken mask, so that's why. And also, this is actually a recommended, well, more like requested video of a commenter who have watched my video that was a draw for fun of like Goomba and Waddle Dee. So thank you for that commenter who have gave me that request. So I'm about to do this video. But anyway, now before anything, I am going to do a time lapse on certain parts because there is going to be a lot of like what is it details to ink, so I really don't want to make this video way too long. All right, so anyway, I'm about to do the whole time lapse, so I'll be right back. Okay, so sorry about all that dead silent I did there. I just wanted to like what is it get all those like time lapse sort of like details out of the way, so you know, like just for in case if I don't make this video way too long, if you all know what I mean by that. But anyway, let's talk about this character. So Meta Knight, I know I mentioned this from a previous video, is Meta Knight really bad? Like, I don't know. Remember, like in what is it? That one Smash Brothers reveal trailer of King K. World's trailer. You know, it was like showing something like Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong watching like something about like the heroes like and the villains fighting, and it actually shows like Kirby with what is it Meta Knight, as if Meta Knight is supposed to be the main villain. I thought King DDD is the main villain. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I don't know, the Kirby series, I have never played any of the Kirby series, so it is a little on the bizarre side when I'm asking you guys this sort of question. I mean, I did watch what is it, a YouTube video about like, what is it, this one Kirby game called Kirby Epic Yarn, and Meta Knight in that one is not a bad, uh, not really a bad guy, but more like a controlled character, you know? Yeah, in that game, he was just controlled to be bad, and kind of like later on for the final boss fight, he kind of like supported Kirby for that game. I don't know. Like, man, I don't know. I never really know much about the Kirby series. The only thing I know about the Kirby games is what is it? When I used to collect those like manga magazines called Koro Koro. If you guys know what that is, it's that what is it? Magazine that actually shows like information. Like not only like it's like a manga magazine, but like magazine that has like information of like upcoming new video games for the Nintendo, you know what I mean? Though I know in what is it, the game, no, not game, the anime series called Kirby Right Back at Ya. In that one, Meta Knight is what is it, he's supposed to be Kirby's mentor in that anime series, where he helps out with the others. Though, didn't I mention something about that Meta Knight is actually the same race as Kirby? Like, he's actually part of like the whole Star Warrior sort of thing. I don't know. I thought I heard something about that. I mean, you guys could correct me if you like. You know, maybe leave a comment down below if you guys want to correct me or not. You know what I mean? But anyway, and it's like Meta Knight. Uh, it's like at some point they made him look like a kind of like one of those villain like characters because like his cape would turn into like bat wings, almost as if he's like a Batman like character. Although, what's the character called Dark Meta Knight supposed to be? It's like kind of like Meta Knight, except more grayish, like dark gray colored character. Like, what is that character supposed to be? Like, I thought I heard something like that. He's like a DLC for what is it? Ooh, what's that game? It's for the Nintendo Switch. Oh, right, Star Allies. Like, I thought that character's a DLC for that game. Is it? I don't know. I can't. I never play Star Allies, to be honest. So, okay, other than Meta Knight, can I ask you guys a question? Um, you know when people would make like all these like jokes about like the Smash Brothers reveal, like you know how people wanting Waluigi. What's this bandana Waddle Dee supposed to be? I mean, I'm sorry, I never played any of the Kirby series. Like, I'm sorry. It's like, what is that character supposed to be? Like, kind of like one of those like bot, like the only maybe like the only Waddle Dee that's actually more stronger maybe than those like regular Waddle Dees. I don't know. It's like a bandana Waddle Dee that carries like a one of those spears. If you all know what I'm talking about. I don't know. It's kind of bizarre. Yeah, kind of bizarre for me to even think about it. Though, just talking about some other like Kirby related things is, have any of you guys ever played a racing version of the Kirby series? Like, oh, oh man, I completely forgot that game actually existed. It's for the GameCube, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about. It's like where like Kirby rides on like any like kind of like, you know how there's that one like star like Kirby always like ride on. It's like I know it shows like that's kind of like mainly Kirby's like um something he rides on all the time, but I know in this game you can ride on anything, like other than like that yellow star. Like I know there was like a star that's in like more like a star that's like in the shapes of like a bird wings. Like I don't know, and I know in this game it's like enemies will try to like attack you, and you can actually swallow the enemies and transform to like to attack the other enemies. I don't know what I forgot what that game is even about. Like completely forgot that game actually existed. The first time I heard of it was when I was like reading the Koro Koro magazine. That's all I remember. Yeah, kind of weird. So okay, out of like talking about Meta Knight, what about the character King Dedede? He's the main antagonist, right? Is he? I don't know. Is King Dedede really the main antagonist? Because I know at some point he's kind of neutral, a little on the anti-hero side. That's what I heard. I don't know. It's Oh man, I don't know much about the Kirby series. Can you guys correct me, please? I'm sorry. Though, if I were to remember this one part in, what is it? Kirby Epic Yarn? Yeah, Epic Yarn. I remember that part where it shows like the fake yarn Waddle Dees captured all of like what is it, King Dedede's Waddle Dees, in that part where King Dedede was like, don't be mean to my Waddle Dees, only I can be mean to my Waddle Dees. I'm like thinking, oh yeah, sure, that's one way to be a very loyal to your own, well, being nice to your own servants. Yeah, that's one way. Though speaking of which, I know I mentioned this on a previous video that about that episode about the episode where it's like about King Dedede decide to be so cheap toward what is it, the Waddle Dees, ever since that one character named Iskargoon, which that character is technically that anime's Meowth if you think about that character. But anyway, that character like that episode, do you that was so random when what is it? The way how they're trying to like test how Waddle Dees eat food, and they're like, here, let's put this cookie near its like face, and when they placed a cookie, it like just swallowed in. That was very bizarre when I saw that scene, and then like they can hear, and they kind of got creeped out when the Waddle Dee actually like swallowed a cookie, and they can actually hear like munching noise, and they're like, how is he actually eating it? Can you hear like munching noises? It's not, it doesn't have teeth. Though how does it brush its teeth? Yeah, man, that was a really bizarre episode I watched. What do you guys think? Though, if you think about it, have they ever thought about making a game about what is Meta Knight? I don't know. You guys might end up needing to like disagree with me, but I mean, did they made a game about Meta Knight? I mean, I don't know if I'm like so slow about it because I don't know. When it comes to me with any Nintendo games, I only focuses on what is it, Mario and what is it, Pokemon. That's all I pretty much focuses on the what is it, Nintendo. Now, not trying to like change the subject or anything, but like the Nintendo game I am like looking forward for is a new Xenoblade Chronicles, though. That is a game I am looking forward for. Now, if I were to think about certain things, though, have they ever like what is it, thought about making other like crossover games for like any Mario games? Ever since I know I mentioned about like what is it that the whole Rabbids Kingdom battle, but I kind of wish they can make like any like what is it crossover games for like some Mario games, like Mario with Kirby, Mario with the Zelda characters, because I know other what is it crossover is at Mario and Sonic at the Olympic 2000 whatever 2000 it was. Speaking of which, about the Olympics, is Olympic really going to be holding this year? Ever since the whole quarantine, it kind of makes you kind of like wonder, don't you kind of think so? Yeah, like imagine like they made a game for the 2020 Olympic and suddenly the whole I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of the whole quarantine, but it's just that worriness feeling, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we're not here to talk about quarantine. We're just here to talk about Kirby and other like what is it, Nintendo stuff. So I don't know why I'm talking about the whole quarantine stuff. Anyway, but yeah, other than like any like what is it, the Rabbids Kingdom battle and the Mario and Sonic um what is it, Olympic, why don't they ever think about any other like crossover games? I mean, what do you guys think? Though if I were to rather think about it, like think carefully, if they make a game about, well, I guess it sounds a little too dark if they were to make a game about like what is it, Meta Knight. I don't know. It's uh like it might sound a little dark for a Kirby game. Well, the thing is, it's like why don't they ever think about making any like um other spin-off games? Because look at like the Mario games. Like the Mario games have like all kinds of like spin-off, like having like Luigi, Yoshi, Wario, and only one game for Peach. Yeah, and then sort of for Bowser. Yeah, sort of. I don't know if you want to call. I mean, well, if you want to think about like what is that, Bowser's Inside Story. Yeah, you know what I mean. So other than talking about any Kirby related things, what do you guys think of like how are you guys with the whole like what is it, Animal Crossing New Horizon? Yeah, I know it's out of topic, but just something to talk about. Like how is that game, the whole New Horizon game? Is it fun? I haven't got it yet. Reason, kind of hesitating to because I know at some point, like what is it, Animal Crossing, it's almost like you kinda gotta like play it like almost like an everyday sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know about that. Well, I mean, man, I don't know much about Animal Crossing. I'm sorry. It's like I have never played Animal Crossing when I was little. Uh, I mean, if I were to think about it, wasn't Animal Crossing like a originally for the GameCube? Wasn't it it was originally for the GameCube? I remember like watching a Japanese commercial about it, and man, oh man, don't really know much about Animal Crossing though. Despite the way that on my previous video about amiibos, it's like I mentioned that I have Cap'n as my only Animal Crossing amiibo character I have. And also, how are you guys with the new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, by the way? Like that's also another game I haven't ever played my whole life either. It's like, man, I never thought about playing the Mystery Dungeon. Like the first time I've heard of it was the one about the Game Boy Advance and the Nintendo DS. Then I heard about the 3DS version of. Wait, is that the 3DS or is that still DS? I don't know. Okay, so back topic about Kirby. Okay, can I have a moment to talk about this one Kirby manga that was like my childhood, like a Koro Koro manga I have read when I was little? Man, and there was a Kirby's manga series that was kind of a little on the vulgar side. Yeah, I know. Kirby is not really meant to be like more of a vulgar series. I know that. But this manga, they made Kirby a little kind of like a really rude character if you think about it. I don't know how to explain it. Man, I don't know. It was kind of a bizarre thing. It's not. It was more like a slice of life kind of like story though. If you think about it, man, it's just I don't know. There was some. It was kind of like not really my sort of a taste of anime though. If you think of, I mean, no, not anime, manga. It's it's hard to really tell if I even want to remember anything about it because it was a little kind of. They made Kirby act like a total kind of like a needy character at some point. It's yeah, man. I don't know. It was kind of like the most weird manga I have ever read my whole life. Back when I was little, it's like. I was supposed to. It's not. It didn't. It's not following the what is it? The anime and so it's just like I guess like I don't know. It's like you know how people make mangas that's like based off of like what is it? Video games. It's kind of weird that way. It's like I don't know. I grew up reading like mangas that are like based off of like video games, and some of them were just kind of little bizarre. I don't know. I, man. But seriously, they just made this Kirby series so, what is it? Vulgar. Like, they made Kirby act like kind of a little bit of a jerk. If you guys know what I'm trying to say. Well, I don't know. Other than like what is it, the manga version, I actually did thought of wanting to play with like some of the Kirby games, but I don't know. It's really my sort of taste though. I don't know because like I mentioned something about that. I'm more of like a Mario and a Pokemon type of person. I don't know yet. Which, speaking of which, the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, we're getting close to there, right? Yep, finally pre-ordered the game and now I'm just waiting for the release date. Though, now that if I think about it, during the time when I stopped what is it, being into Nintendo stuff, I remember during that time the recent Kirby game I heard back then it was during the Nintendo DS Lite and they released a Kirby game that was what is it what is it? For the Nintendo DS Lite? Well, yeah, of course. But anyway, in which I remember it was something about like these they have like a new villains where these like villains are these like mouse, like kind of a gang of like these like mice gangs. I don't know what they're called in English, to be honest, because I never bought the game. In Japanese, they're called Dorochedan, if I were to think about it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny how they had like what is it rats in it, in which I was like, what happened to King Dedede? Yeah, it's like in that game, like does King Dedede appear in that game? Like how many of you guys actually have played that game? Yeah, can you guys tell me what the game was really about? Because I really didn't get what it was really about. Well, guys, I finally have finished Meta Knight. Okay, well, something I will have to admit, I don't think I did the colors right. Like, I know the cape is supposed to be more darkish blue, but unfortunately, I don't have any dark blue. Ugh, I need to start buying more Copic sketch markers. But you know, pretty much this is kind of like the biz I wanted to do, and because this is a requested video, I I didn't want to delay it, so that's why this is a bit I could do. So once again, thank you to that commenter that requested Meta Knight for me. If you guys want, I can do drawings if you guys requested me. However, the requesting video, if you guys request me for certain drawings, it have to be kind of it pretty much depends because I'm more of a basic artist. I'm not a what is it, a fancy dancy artist yet, you know. I'm a basic artist. But you know, uh but you know, I really would appreciate it if you guys do have some like requesting drawings videos that you guys want me to do, then you know, I promise I will do it. It pretty much depends, you know. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like and subscribe for more Draw for Fun video. See ya.